how do you react to this news that you are going to be pardoned?
The only way I can put it is that I'm going to throw a spanner into the works.
Go on.
A big spanner in the works. Everyone's talking about pardon. Why? The law was brought in by the Victorians in 1885. What did they know? What did anybody know in those days? They brought in a law which applied only to two men doing whatever anybody else does, but that they just attracted. The way I put it is born. The way I was put it, I'm born. Only able to be in love with a man. I married a woman and I loved her, but it was impossible to be in love with her.
So in what way are you throwing a spanner in the works, George? You're not accepting this pardon.
Well, I will not. Why? Why are we getting pardons? You only give pardons to people who were guilty. What were we guilty of? Nothing. We did nothing. Heterosexual people could do what they liked. In shop doorways, in the backs of cars, in the woods, anywhere. It didn't apply to them. Why should it apply to us? It's wrong. The law of gross indecency is a total injustice.
What do you
Therefore, there's no crime.
Do you want something instead of a pardon?
An apology, just pure and simple, an apology, and a posthumous apology, starting with Oscar Wilde, Alan Turing, and thousands of others, and me. An apology for the quite understandable, very, very understandable misunderstanding of heterosexuals who find it impossible to understand homosexuality.
I wonder if you could give an insight into our audience, George, because for some people it is incredible of what it is like to really have to hide your sexuality because homosexual acts are illegal, and then to be prosecuted for it.
Well, it was horrendous, and what you had to do was what I did. When you become a bit of an actor, and you're very, very careful, and you don't let anybody see or know anything, and all you do is meet other people who are like yourself. The only place you could do that in a small country town and villages with no internet, nothing at all you could. And if you didn't meet someone and discover that you weren't the only one, you'd probably go mad. So what we did, we used to meet in the local, what I call, refusing to call it public toilet. That sounds bad. But the gents' side of the gents' toilet, there were only other men in there. And occasionally, very occasionally, if you were lonely and so you just went along, and you often didn't do anything at all, but you could, with your eyes, you could see someone, and you could talk to them with your eyes without anybody knowing anything. Well, the police became aware of that, and what they did, which is what we mainly want the apology for, is they weren't getting any arrests because we were very discreet. They had holes drilled because they were called a cottage because they were like a little cottage with a pitched roof and a loft. And the police would get in the loft with holes and look down, and frequently later on they saw nothing. So what do? They take the youngest, prettiest looking policeman in the station, not gay, not in uniform, send him in, and he would tempt, smile at people and provocateur. That is what we need an apology for more than anything.